Hello everyone and welcome to my latest FM21 Journeyman video here on YouTube. I'm Steve Witt, otherwise known as Meatman Soccer, and we're in Egypt. I'm still at the same club. I will talk to you about what has happened during the off-season now. The last time I was with you, it was the back end of last season. I just want to show you exactly where we actually finished in the previous campaign in Egypt. We finished 10th position, 1 point off this side called Ittihad. Now, I remember last season, I worked this out actually, something like 35 of our points were obtained against sides below us, and just 4 points were obtained against sides in the top 9. So it's one of them that, what can be the objectives going into this season? I feel like the top sort of 6 here are just certainly were a class apart from us. You know, they've all got at least 70 points. In fact, you could even say Al Masry on 68, although at times I felt we, maybe got close to them. I think we can definitely look at trying to catch Ittihad and Haras El Hudud. So in terms of teams, we want to improve to 8th place. We've got to stay above these teams as well, of course, that were below us. So we want to try and climb at least 2 places. In terms of a points target, well, 35 points from these matches, I think it was 16 games, is actually pretty good going. It's more than 2 points per game. If we can just maintain that, I think that would be great. What we need to do, we need to pick up some points against the sides in this top 9 from last year. And 4 points is not enough. I think we need to realistically think about picking up 15 if we can from that sort of run. That would get us another 11 points on the board. That would get us up to 50 points. I think we've got to set ourselves a target of a minimum 50 points for this season to make some progress. I think it would be nice if we could get sort of in the sort of 55 point range as well. If we did that, we definitely would achieve the positional targets. It's asking too much, I think, to go much higher than that. We can't make a jump from 39 points to 70 in the space of 1 season with the resources we've got. I just don't see it happening. So the only way we would get sort of into 6th or 7th is if a couple of these teams drop down, which might happen. But I think we take minimum points target for ourselves 50 points. We'd love to be sort of knocking on the door 55 and take it from there. But we need to improve our points scoring against the top 9. So the off season, I actually I intended to. I said I was going to apply for some jobs, and I did. I had a look around the globe. I wasn't really getting many interviews though. I was trying Australia A-League. I was trying Korea. I was trying China. I tried a couple in South America as well, Bolivia, Peru, places like that. MLS. I thought they might give me an interview because I'm English speaking. We did get a couple of interviews from the Chinese 2nd tier, and we got 1 interview from Bolivia that they rejected. So that's the sort of level that we're at in terms of a manager profile. I'll just show you the manager profile now, which is with 30% rating, which isn't too bad. I thought we might get a few more interviews based on that. We've got a Continental C license, and we're studying for the Continental B. Maybe when we get the Continental B, it will help, in terms of that. So we were looking for. I was never going to move somewhere that was a stupid career move, but I was open to moving because ultimately this club does have, the financial situation of it, 16k wage, which is not too bad actually for this league at times, but it's nowhere near the level of the top teams in Egypt. And the club's finances are not great. The board injects a little bit of cash to help running, but we're always going to be looking at a projection of in the red really here. It's never going to be more than a 2-year project. This is going to be my last season at this club unless something really strange happens, like we get a sugar daddy come on board or the team does it unexpectedly brilliant. This is my last season here, and I'm just hoping we can have a really good season which will improve the manager profile, get the Continental B license, maybe even train towards a Continental A as well. And then we can move to pastures new and get a new adventure on the way. But we're going to have fun here in Egypt this year because the club vision, they just want us to avoid a relegation battle. Now, for me, we're obviously targeting mid-table and beyond. We'd love to have a run in the Egypt Cup. In terms of league prediction, we should comfortably achieve the target to the board. We predicted 12th this year, 150 to 1, so that's not too bad. We're targeting 8th place. Etihad are probably the team that we've got to watch out for there, but really there's no reason why we can't finish 8th. It's just breaking into this top 7, like I said, which is going to be the problem, and that's going to be the hard point. Anyway, so we've gone into this season with a plan to change tactics, and this is the main one. I've gone with 3 tactics. Now, last year we had that 3-3-3-1, which was not very good in the end. We had to change it. We changed it to effectively a 4-2-3-1, and I've kind of built on that variation. I feel like a back 4's best here at this club, so we're going with the back 4. We're actually going with 2D mid, 2 players in defensive midfield this time. For this one variation of the formation, I just feel we need to try a couple of defensive midfielder positions and roles, because we just weren't getting the most out of the central mids last year. So let's give the D mids a go. We're still having 1 central mid in there. Ignore some of these, because this wouldn't be the first choice team if we were actually doing this system. So forget some of these red bits and that. This is just look at the formation tactics. 2 players here: shadow striker and an attacking midfielder and an advanced forward, central midfielder on support, DLP on support in the D mid area, and then a simple defensive midfielder on defend duty. We've gone with fullback support with a lot of sort of different individual player instructions. It's a good role for that. We're going. This is our formation we're going to use if we're against somewhat a team that we expect to beat, or any of the teams in the bottom half, basically. So we're going attacking mentality. We're going with slightly short passing. We've got some good passes in this team and good technical players, so let's use it. Higher tempo, we're rolling it out, we're counter pressing because there's actually good pace in the team mostly. There's decent enough work rate now, so we can do that. We're not going to counter though, because I don't want us to lose the ball stupidly. We're doing shorter passing. We don't need to mess it up by countering and playing silly passes. Distributing quickly, we don't necessarily have to do that, to be fair. To the fullbacks, we've got to keep the ball rolling it out. We're going with a high defensive line here because we've got a back 4 now. More comfortable doing it with a back 4 and a higher line of engagement, because we're doing a bit of counter pressing, and pressing is more urgent. We could move that to standard. Potentially it might change. That's the first variation of the this system. So the second variation, and these systems have got exactly the same set piece instructions, by the way. I've set up the set pieces. What I do, I set up set pieces for one formation, reload that formation, just tweak the tactics and stuff, and often you can, instead of having to completely redo set pieces, you'll keep the same set piece setup. So if you've got a similar sort of system, just a few different roles, a couple of different positions, well worth doing that rather than having to completely start afresh again from doing new set pieces. So this is the 4-2-3-1, more conventional 4-2-3-1, with a couple of wide players, an attacking midfielder, striker, and this time again we go with 2 D mids rather than in the central midfield area. Same roles for those, inside forward and a winger, shadow striker, AF. Not a lot's changed apart from we're going with 2 wingers out there, and again fullbacks on support with lots of individual instructions. I'll come to those in a minute actually, but yeah, and again nothing's changed here at all. It's just a couple of positional tweaks. It gives us a bit more. If we're against a side where we're struggling to create much sort of through the middle, we're going to go with this. Gives a bit more on the wide options. Gone with fullback support. Now this is the good thing about fullback support, you can do a lot of different instructions. So we're staying wide, we're getting further forward, running wide with ball, dribbling more, and he's crossing more often. It's effectively a wing back, really, because we're just letting them do that. I just think we'll use the individual instructions really well. See how it works anyway. So these 2 systems are very similar. The third system, this is the one we are going to use against sides in that top half, or towards the end of a game where we're trying to close it out, or in a situation where we might be underdogs or something. We just want to slow the pace down a little bit, and this is my hardest thing. I'm not so great on these sort of tactics, but we're going with balance. Now I've noticed in this FM the players don't like it if you're switching between, say, attacking and defensive in terms of mentality, or attacking and caution. They don't like that. even if you're training them in one of these 3 slots, if you say go cautious mentality one week and you go and attack in the next, they don't like it. They say they don't like the switching mentality. It's as if the players want to play one way, and I can get that. It's kind of quite realistic in real life. Most teams tend to play the same way most weeks, right? If you think about teams now, they just have that identity. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. They tend to play the same way with a few tweaks here and there, and I get that. So what I've decided to do, I've decided to go balance mentality. I kind of want us to be on the cautious side, but balance is what I'm going with here. Very few team instructions. We're kind of doing normal passing, normal tempo. This is something we might look at changing, but I just want to keep it simple. I do want us to counter though, because we're going to be underdogs. We're probably going to have about 40% possession. Makes sense to counter in this instance. Look, so we're countering, we're distributing quickly, leaving these instructions off. Let the keeper decide who the best man open is to get the counter attack. We're not counter pressing or regrouping with this system. We don't need to. Let the players decide. We're going with a lower defensive line. We're probably going to be with a little bit of pressure. Standard line of engagement. We are going to press them though, because we're trying to counter attack. If we could win the ball in this spot, let's go with it. So extremely urgent pressing once they get to this line of engagement. Okay, so again, it's the same set piece setup as the other 2 formations. So we are going for it from set pieces, but we are pushing a few guys forward on that. So that's what I've gone with, and I suppose I better go into the transfers now. We didn't really have a specific transfer strategy this window. We're just looking for players all over the gaff really, and see what turns up. We've brought a lot in, as you can see here. It actually starts back end of last season with Ahmed Sobri, a right back, a 33-year-old. We've also got him as head of youth development, so he's playing for us and he's head of youth development. An experienced sort of journeyman on the right hand side. We're only here for 1 season. You know, if I was in a long-term save, it's probably not the sort of player I'd bring into my club, but I thought, why not? Let's bring in an experienced guy on the right hand side. He can do a job. And we've got Islam Ibrahim is sort of backup striker, youngster, can go up front. Some more significant signings. This guy here, Mohamed Hanafi, he's probably the best player we've got actually now. He looks a really good prospect in midfield. We're going to play him in A-mid. He can't tackle, so we're just going to keep him there as a shadow striker. We're going to get him used. He comes from the Egyptian second tier. He had a good average rating last year. I think he can do really well for us. We're going to get him on shooting long shots and everything. We've used the loan market. We've raided these top teams in Egypt, Zamalek, Al Ahly, Pyramids, to get some youth prospects. The best prospect, I like this lad here, Khalid Sami, a youngster on loan from Al Ahly. He's going to play for us at D-mid when he does feature, but he can play anywhere you want really. He can even do right or left back. So a nice little prospect there. The loans are not here for us to sort of, we're not going to start too many of them, I don't think, unless we have to. It's just to give us a bit of depth. The one exception is this guy here, Reda Mahanwi. He's a Moroccan. He's coming in on loan from Tangier, and he can play left or right back. He's pretty much 2-footed, really, and I think he's one of our highest rated players. He's going to play left back predominantly, I think, and I've got high hopes from a 23-year-old. We've got good ratings in Morocco anyway. Let's see if he can sort of do that this season as well in Egypt. We've signed someone for 63k, a young goalkeeper. We needed someone as a backup really, but I think he's going to compete with Ziadi in goal. He's a fairly big lad. He's a youngster who's going to develop. We maybe overpaid for him a little bit. We did have a transfer budget. I thought, well, let's use it, and we needed one of the club board things is sign players under 23-year-olds, so let's do that. And then we've got a couple of lads here who are just making up sort of depth in attacking midfield and sort of those areas. For example, this guy here, Abdul Fattah, he can just play in pretty much every position that we need in this area of the field. So a few good transfers coming in. This guy I'm really high hopes for. And let's see how these tactics and formations go. We've got Al Ahly, we've got the champions first up actually, which is incredible. What a tough start that is for us, eh? They're not the champions. They finished second. They're one of the best teams anyway. I think they're the favourites for the league. So let's just have a look at that season preview. Yeah, they're the second favourites behind Pyramids. Zamalek won the title last year, I do believe. I forget. They were all bloody good teams. Yeah, Zamalek won it last year. Al Ahly, Pyramids. Hardly lost a game between them, did they? To be honest, Zamalek only losing once. Who did they actually lose to? Al Masri, who were down in 7th. But this is our schedule then. So we got Al Ahly now first up. And we got Al-Gaish in 3 days' time. That's a much more winnable fixture. And then we have NP away. That's a tough game. So 2 of our first 3 are tough. Then we have this 2-week break in October, and we come back for a bunch of games. Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday here in the Cup, and then the games come a bit thick and fast actually. So I'm not going to do the Al Ahly match. I'm going to see how these tactics settle down for a bit, and we maybe come back for a match maybe against Al Guna. And I want to show you both tactics in operation, really, or even all 3. So we'll do Al Guna. We'll do maybe that one as well. So I'm going to see how it goes, take it from there. But hopefully we're having a good season, and let's see how these tactics work out. Anyway, that's going to be it for this particular video. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate it. Hit your like button. Any comments, we much appreciated. Remember, follow me on the socials above and the Twitch channel. And yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. But very much appreciate your time watching this. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.